The $8,500 fine for a rural landscape violation nearly cost me my family's ranch and toppled a corrupt HOA empire. Laura Hensley stormed onto my property, brandishing new bylaws like a weapon, her eyes gleaming with authority. She'd pushed through a rule giving me 14 days to dismantle my livestock barns, quoting Section 22.6 as if it were sacred law. What she didn't know was that my land was shielded by a forgotten 1978 conservation statute, a legacy my grandfather had fought for in the Texas legislature. I held the original document tread seal, living signature in it wasn't just a defense, it was a grenade. My response to the HOA wasn't a plea. It was a legal demand from the state attorney general's office to halt their bylaws. Laura had no idea she'd awakened a sleeping giant, and from that moment, her empire began to crack. I'm Ethan Caldwell, third-generation rancher on a 15-acre spread outside Austin. My grandfather Amos taught me that land is a legacy, not just dirt. After earning a degree in agricultural law from UT Austin, I returned to run the ranch and consult for small farmers. When subdivisions sprouted around us 3 years ago, I thought my legal savvy would shield us. I was wrong to underestimate Laura, an HOA president with a shadowy past and a vendetta. This is the story of a brutal legal war and how I turned a losing hand into a victory that shook the county. The roosters crow at 5:30 a.m. was my alarm since my wife, Sarah, passed, leaving me to handle our daughter Lily's morning routines. I was nailing boards on the chicken coop when a courier's truck rattled up the gravel drive. Thinking it was a feed delivery, I was stunned to receive a manila envelope stamped with the Crestview Meadows HOA logo, marked Urgent Legal Notice. The courier, a nervous kid, muttered an apology and fled. Inside was a chilling invoice. $8,500 for violating Section 22.6, targeting my barns and greenhouse. Sarah's pride and joy. Photos marked with red arrows branded them non-compliant, demanding removal within 14 days or $500 daily fines. Sitting on my porch, coffee gone cold, I traced the roots of this fight. 3 years earlier, I'd backed Crestview's development, believing their promises of rural harmony. But their vision twisted, seeing my family's legacy as a blight. The bylaws passed while I was in Dallas, where Lily fought a post-surgical infection. Laura seized that moment, steamrolling the vote 11-6, ignoring residents' questions about my absence. That afternoon, Laura arrived unannounced, her silver BMW kicking up dust. At 48, she exuded cold authority, her blonde hair in a tight bun, clutching a portfolio and plans to modernize my land. "Mr. Caldwell," she said, her voice like steel, "this violation is serious. Comply or face consequences." When I mentioned agricultural protections, she laughed sharply. "I've practiced real estate law for 20 years. Your little farm has no exemptions." Her dismissal wasn't just legal, it was personal. I recalled her 2 offers to buy my land, each more aggressive. That night, tucking Lily into bed as she chattered about newborn chicks, I stared at a photo of Sarah by our red barn. Anger mixed with grief. Sarah had been the fighter. Now, it was my turn. At 4 a.m., Amos's voice echoed. "If they try to take this land, check the attic." I found a carved box with his initials and Land Legacy 1978. Inside was a 1978 agricultural heritage easement, sealed by Texas, protecting our ranch from local ordinances under Law 447TX, Section 15.3. Amos's journal detailed his 2-year battle against developers, a blueprint for my fight. I called our lawyer, Tom Rayner, who laughed. Amos was a genius. Laura's breaking state law. My response letter cited the easement, demanded the HOA rescind Section 22.6, and copied the Attorney General. It wasn't a defense, it was a declaration of war. 3 days later, the Crestview Community Center was packed for an emergency meeting. Laura, in a tailored suit, wielded a PowerPoint of property value charts and doctored photos of my barns. I carried only the easement and a thermos, Lily munching crackers beside me. Neighbors rallied by Mrs. Harper, a 70-year-old firebrand, spoke of my family's history. Old Man Curtis, a retired planner, recalled Amos's watershed fight. When I read the easement's ironclad protections, the room erupted in applause. Laura's face hardened. "This isn't over," she spat. threatening environmental and safety complaints. Her venom shocked the crowd, exposing her obsession. The next morning, a van labeled Environmental Solutions blocked my drive. Orange cones and yellow tape staged like a crime scene. A jittery inspector, Mike Larson, claimed to investigate groundwater contamination but dodged my questions. An HOA sticker on his clipboard betrayed Laura's hand. By noon, she posted a Facebook video, standing by the van, implying my farm poisoned the water. It was slick propaganda, but the internet fought back. Lily's teacher, Ms. Gomez, noted no county used private contractors. A neighbor posted Mike's pest control job history. Mrs. Harper shared a VHS of Amos saving wetlands, proving our environmental stewardship. Online sleuths uncovered Laura's past, forced resignation from a law firm, HOA schemes across Texas, and a pattern of bullying rural owners for profit. At 9 p.m., a nervous voice called Claire Wong, Laura's secretary. Over coffee, Claire revealed Laura's crimes: altering bylaws to remove farm exemptions, misusing HOA funds for private investigations, and planning to target Lily with false CPS complaints. Documents showed Laura's acquisition strategy, profiling farmers for coercion, with my family labeled stubborn. Her surveillance of Lily's school and Sarah's medical bills was chilling. Claire's evidence proved federal crimes, embezzlement, and mail fraud via HOA fund misuse. 2 nights later, my cameras caught Mike cutting my fence, muttering about planting chemicals per Laura's orders. His recorded call to her was damning. "This feels wrong, Laura. Jail time if we're caught." She replied, "Just make it traceable to his farm." Sheriff's deputies arrested Mike with industrial chemicals, and my audio sealed Laura's fate. The DA called her scheme a 20-year property racket. In court, Laura's high-priced lawyers faltered as I presented Claire's documents and the easement. Judge Ellen Carter, saved by Amos's watershed work, awarded $85,000 in damages, banned Laura from HOA rolls, and referred her for federal prosecution. Laura's tears couldn't erase her crimes. I refused the $85,000, creating the Amos Caldwell Heritage Fund for farm preservation and education. As HOA president, I rewrote bylaws for community, not control. My ranch became a learning hub, with Lily leading kids through coops. Months later, Laura returned, broken, apologizing for her son's overdose-driven rage. She funded a memorial garden for him, teaching conservation. We later testified for the Urban Agricultural Protection Act, saving 200 farms. Today, kids plant tomatoes where Laura once waged war, and Lily chases chickens, carrying Sarah's spirit. My fight wasn't just for Mike, it was for every family facing bullies with deep pockets. Your story matters. Share it, and know you're not alone.